Welcome to a new journey of understanding and wisdom on Life Lesson TV. Have you ever wondered why life's most formidable trials seem to target the strongest among us? Indeed, it's a question for the ages, a paradox that seems to play out time and time again. It's as if life has a peculiar way of picking out those with the most potential, the ones with the brightest future, and hurling the heaviest stones their way. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Consider the hardships and challenges that life throws at us. They're not random, oh no. They seem to have an uncanny knack for finding those with the greatest potential. The ones who could rise the highest, shine the brightest, leave the most indelible mark on the world. These are the ones who often find themselves in the crosshairs of life's most relentless adversity. Think back on the annals of history. Reflect on the biographies of the most influential figures, the trailblazers who reshaped the world. Their stories are not tales of easy ascents to greatness. No. They are narratives of struggle, of hardship, of adversity, faced and overcome. Abraham Lincoln, for instance, was born into poverty, lost 8 elections, and suffered a nervous breakdown before he eventually became one of the most revered presidents of the United States. Thomas Edison, the prolific inventor, was deemed too stupid to learn anything by his teachers and made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, was a single mother living on welfare before her manuscript was finally accepted by a publisher. What do these stories tell us? They remind us that the path to greatness is often paved with hardship. They show us that adversity is not a sign of impending failure, but rather a crucible for forging strength, resilience, and ultimately, power. Indeed, it seems that life's greatest trials have a purpose. They are not meant to break us, but to shape us, to mold us into the powerful beings we have the potential to become. They are a testament to a universal truth. In life, those who face the greatest trials often emerge as the most powerful. Consider the story of a man who was broken into pieces by life's trials. His name was Frankie. Frankie's tale is not one of fairy tales or of easy wins. It's a tale of a man who faced the world head-on with its harsh realities and bitter truths. Frankie had faced numerous hardships. He'd been through the ringer of financial collapse, the heartbreak of a broken family, and the despair of personal failure. His dreams were shattered. He was, in every sense of the word, broken into pieces. But this is not a tale of defeat. No. Quite the contrary. This is a story of resilience, of spirit, and of an indomitable will that refused to be extinguished. You see, Frankie's trials did not define him, but rather, they refined. They served as the anvil upon which his character was hammered and shaped. Frankie's hardships were not punishments, but rather, they were preparations. They were the stepping stones that led him towards personal growth. Each adversity he faced was a lesson, a chance for him to learn, to grow, and to evolve. His journey was not easy. There were days when he felt as if he were drowning. Days when the weight of his struggles threatened to pull him under. But he persevered. He found strength in his brokenness, courage in his vulnerability. And with each challenge he overcame, each adversity he faced head-on, he grew stronger. He learned to turn his wounds into wisdom, his pain into power. He learned to see each trial not as a setback, but as a setup for a comeback. Broken, yes, but it's in our brokenness that we often discover our true strength. In our struggles that we find the courage to stand tall, the resilience to keep moving forward, and the determination to never, ever give up. So if you ever find yourself feeling broken, remember Frankie's story. Remember that it's often in our brokenness that we find our strength. Now think about this. If God wants to make a man powerful, he often breaks him first. It may sound paradoxical, but it's a profound truth. You see, the most enduring strength often rises from the ashes of brokenness. Let's delve into some biblical references to illustrate this. Let's look at the story of Jacob, a man who wrestled with God himself. He was left with a limp, broken in a physical sense, but emerged spiritually stronger. His name changed to Israel, meaning he who struggles with God. His brokenness was a pivotal point, transforming him into a powerful leader. Then there's the tale of Job, a man of wealth and influence who lost everything: his family, his wealth, his health. He was shattered, yet in his brokenness he held on to his faith, grappling with existential questions. And in the end, God restored Job's fortunes, and he emerged more powerful and influential than before. These biblical accounts and many others highlight a recurring theme. God uses hardships and adversities to build strength in individuals. It's through the crucible of trials and tribulations that we are refined. Our character is molded and our faith is solidified. The process may be painful, but the end result is a person of unwavering faith, resilience, and spiritual power. As gold is purified through fire, so too are we refined through the fires of adversity. It's in our brokenness that we learn to rely not on our own strength, but on God's strength. It's in our weakness that His power is made perfect. And it's in our surrender that we discover the power that comes from walking with God. So, while the world often equates power with wealth, influence, and success, God's perspective is vastly different. His power is perfected in our weakness, and it's through our brokenness that we are made powerful. When God wants to build a powerful man, He doesn't shy away from breaking him first. So embrace the trials, the challenges, the brokenness, for they are the tools in God's hands to mold you into a vessel of His power. Walking with God is not a journey everyone is willing to undertake. It's a path that demands sacrifice, commitment, and a deep-rooted faith that often sets you apart from the crowd. Imagine you're at a crossroads. One road is wide, well-traveled, filled with familiar faces and comfortable routines. The other road is narrow, less traveled, and requires a certain degree of sacrifice. This is the path of walking with God. It's a road less traveled, not because it's unknown, but because it asks for something not everyone is willing to give. A surrender of self, a release of control, a commitment to a higher calling. Walking with God means letting go of the reins of your life and allowing Him to guide you. It means trusting in His plan, even when it doesn't align with your own. It means saying no to things that may seem good in the moment, but aren't part of His divine plan for you. It's about making choices that honor Him, even when those choices are hard, even when they set you apart from the crowd. And here's the thing, when you choose this path, you might find yourself walking alone. Not because people don't like you or because you've become unapproachable, but because this walk is a personal journey, one that requires a level of sacrifice and commitment that not everyone is ready to make. This solitude, however, is not a punishment. It's a gift. It's an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become more attuned to God's voice. It's a chance to develop a relationship with the Creator that is so deep, so personal that it transforms you from the inside out. So if you find yourself walking this path alone, don't be disheartened. Remember, it's a journey not everyone is willing to undertake. But for those who do, the rewards are immeasurable. The peace, the joy, the fulfillment that comes from walking with God surpasses any earthly pleasure. When you choose to walk with God, don't be surprised if people stop walking with you. But also don't be surprised if you find a strength you never knew you had, a joy that never fades, and a peace that surpasses all understanding. So, our broken man who walked with God, what became of him? His name was Frankie. Journeying back to his story, we find a tale of transformation, a metamorphosis brought about by a potent combination of trials and faith. This man, once shattered into pieces, now stands tall, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of faith. His journey was not easy, nor was it straightforward. He faced obstacles and challenges that would have crushed a lesser soul. But in the midst of his trials, he discovered a profound truth: that he was not alone. He found solace, strength, and guidance in his walk with God. He started to see his broken pieces not as a sign of defeat, but as an opportunity to rebuild, to strengthen, to become more than he ever was before. The process was painful, but it was also transformative. He made sacrifices, gave up comforts, and distanced himself from those unwilling to embark on such a journey. He chose to walk a path less traveled, a path lined with trials and tribulations. But it was also a path that led him to a profound understanding of his own strength, his own potential. Frankie had faced numerous hardships. The man who was once broken was now powerful. Not in spite of his trials, but because of them. His power did not come from material wealth or social status. It came from his resilience, his faith, his willingness to endure hardships for a higher purpose. His power came from his journey, from his walk with God. He did not become powerful overnight. It was a process, a journey that took time, patience, and faith. But through it all, he remained steadfast, committed to his walk with God, committed to his journey of self-discovery and transformation. In the end, His journey was not just about becoming powerful. It was about understanding that power comes from within, from resilience, from faith, from the willingness to endure hardships for a higher purpose. It was about understanding that the path to true power lies not in avoiding hardships, but in embracing them, in learning from them, in growing through them. He was broken, yes, but in his brokenness he found power. Power that came from his walk with God. So what can we learn from this powerful man's journey? We've seen how God uses hardships to forge strength, how walking with God demands sacrifices that others may not be ready to make, and how true power can be discovered in our moments of brokenness. Embrace these trials, for they are not mere obstacles, but stepping stones to a higher calling. Remember, whenever God wants to make a man powerful, he always breaks him into pieces first. It's a process with God, and when you start walking with God, people will stop walking with you. Not because they don't like you, but because you're about to sacrifice things they are not willing to sacrifice. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep living with authenticity. Remember that life is a journey. Be sure to visit lifelesson.tv for more.